Do you ever notice yourself resisting difficult feelings, clinging to positive thinking so you don't lose momentum or focus on life, or pushing away fear, shutting down doubt, resisting discouragement, running from failure? Last week we talked about patterns, the automatic strategies that once protected us, but now they keep us small. This week we're going deeper because beneath every pattern lives something older, more tender, and more misunderstood. Beneath the pattern lives your shadow, and in the shadow we find fear, doubt, discouragement, and even our relationship to failure. And healing doesn't come from outrunning these experiences, it comes from turning toward them. My name is Michelle Shelton. I'm a registered dietitian and coach, and today we're diving into our shadow. I want to share a quote from one of my coaching mentors, Guthrie Sayan, the founder of the Institute for Healing and Awakening. He teaches embracing our full humanity, our vulnerability, and our compensatory behaviors is the way to healing. So we're embracing our full humanity. What does it mean to be human? To be human is to be vulnerable, to have places where we can be hurt, and getting hurt doesn't feel good. None of us wants that. At the deepest level, there are two core wounds every human fears: being overwhelmed, losing connection with our own heart and sense of self, and being abandoned, losing connection with others and being left alone. Disconnection from self and disconnection from others. These are the two fears that live at the core of the shadow. So in the shadow, you'll find fear of failure, fear of inadequacy, fear of being bad or not enough, imposter syndrome, fear of not being lovable or worthy of connection. And so to protect ourselves from these painful places, we develop the patterns we talked about last week. But here's the shift. If you want to heal the pattern, you don't fight the behavior. You turn toward the shadow beneath it. Embracing the shadow means turning toward vulnerability, toward fear, perceived mistakes or shortcomings, inadequacy, imposter feelings. That's what shadow work really is. Embracing our shadow can feel scary and uncomfortable. We resist the shadow for two main reasons. First, we believe we're the only one who has one. The shadow feels shameful and isolating, like something is wrong with us, so we hide it. We manage it. We try to keep anyone from seeing it. But here's an important truth. Everyone has a shadow. At the core, our shadows are remarkably similar. The fear of not being enough, the fear of being too much, the fear of failure, the fear of rejection. They're universal. But they're personalized by your life story, so they feel uniquely yours, like you are the only one carrying this, but you're not. Second, we are afraid that if we embrace the shadow, it will become true. Resisting it feels like the only way to say, this isn't me, this isn't true. And this is where an essential distinction matters. Receiving your shadow is not the same as believing it. This is important, so I'm going to say it again. Receiving your shadow is not the same as believing it. Embracing your shadow is not the same as becoming it. Notice the space between you and what the shadow is saying about you. I think about it like this. When my 7-year-old comes to me with hurt feelings, he wants to explain why he's right and why someone else is wrong and why it hurts so much. And as the adult, I don't argue with his story, but I don't fully buy into it either. I simply hold him. I stay present. I comfort the pain until it settles. That's the difference. We fear that facing the shadow will prove we are unworthy of love, that it will confirm our deepest fear, disconnection and aloneness. But here's the truth, and it's the opposite of what you'd expect. When you turn towards your shadow with compassion, with the space that comes from receiving and not believing, you bring connection to pain that was carried alone. And it's not the pain itself that overwhelms us, it's experiencing pain in isolation. When pain is met with companionship and compassion, it begins to heal. The stories carried by the shadow, I'm not enough, I'm an imposter, I'm flawed, I'm not worthy of connection, begin to unburden. Here's the quiet miracle that happens when shadow begins to heal. You reconnect to your inherent light. You reconnect to core self, beyond doing, achieving, performing, or earning worth through approval. You reconnect to a value that cannot be taken from you. You stop clinging to positivity, and instead you develop a grounded, steady confidence, the knowing that you'll be okay through both the ups and the downs of life. Your worth remains intact through success and failure. You move from fragility to stability. So here's your invitation for this week. Simple but profound. Notice the part of yourself you reject the most, the reaction you judge, the impulse you hide, the part you fear would push others away. And instead of tightening around it or resisting it, turn toward it. Invite in the shadow. Ask what it's protecting. Notice the fears beneath it. Meet it with compassion. Offer curiosity. Receive it without believing it. Embrace it without becoming it. Give it the connection so it no longer has to carry pain alone. Healing isn't about suppressing what's dark. It's about loving it back into the light. If this message resonated, I'd love for you to join this community. So hit subscribe and stay with me as we continue exploring healing, wholeness, and embodied self-trust and confidence. And if you're ready to explore your shadow, your patterns, and your healing in a more personal way, you're invited to book a free coaching consultation with me. The link is in the video description. I would be honored to walk with you on your journey back to self, the place where light and shadow finally meet.